Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? My name is Mike Dewan here with the Region Sports Network, coming to you live from the Center Bank studio at the Athletic Performance Factory. Mike Dewan, Jay Simmons, got some new digs going on here.
Right.
Hey, it's a soft opening at the Diamond Plate and Pub Eatery. A lot of great things going on here, Jay. First off, before we get into the thick of things, we were here since the start of the season, and This place was. They had a lot of things going on here, but we were working through construction. They did a great job all through here. We've been welcomed with open arms, and everyone's been so accommodating, Jay. And now to kind of see things, the official opening to the public is November 4th. But to be here kind of in now a little bit new environment and again a soft opening here, Jay, it's been quite fun to see, at least on my end.
Yeah, you're right, Mike, and it's great to be here and just to see everything progress. They have done an amazing job getting everything put together at this point in time, and just full ahead go from here on out. The rest of the football season, it's going to be party time here.
No doubt about it. Party time indeed. It's the playoff time. It's the playoffs, Jay. What better time than a party, to say the absolute least. Again, we're at the Diamond Plate and Pub Eatery here with Region Football Weekly. Come on down. It's a soft opening. If not, feel free to swing on by November 4th for the official opening to the public. Jay, it's also the eve before Halloween. I know you got a shout-out to give out here, Jay, for this special holiday.
Yeah, and hey, wake them up over there. Yeah, we got my grandsons here, Grayson and Graham. Grayson is in the Army man suit, and Graham is in the dog outfit. Happy Halloween to you guys.
It's a cute photo.
It's gonna be a great time tomorrow with them celebrating Halloween and going out and trick-or-treating all around town.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed day tomorrow, Jay. We got our trick-or-treating in the morning or the afternoon. Then from what I heard, even some teams that are still in the tournament, they might be shifting Halloween. If they got a home game that evening, they might shift the Halloween trick-or-treating hours earlier in the day. So we got a full slate of games to talk about come tomorrow night. But most importantly, Jay, we got some games to talk about from Week 10. So we will take it back to the first round of the playoffs. We'll start off from the Class 1A and make it up to 4A with 5 and 6A on a bye. LaVille wins 35-0 over Culver Community. North Judson at the Class 1A sectional 41, 59-6 over the South Central Satellites. West Central beat South Newton 74-12, and Bowman Academy, one of the teams that won a total team effort award. We could pump the brakes a little bit on this one, Jay. 36-30, their first playoff victory since 2014. Although there might be some teams that may make it farther than others, see teams make history. 2014 was their last playoff victory. Bowman win this team last season, Jay. And then we've kind of talked about these teams that have gone from kind of rags to riches in these seasons. At the very least, although your end goal of going to Lucas Oil Stadium may be kind of elusive, to have seasons like this where it's a stepping stone for the program, I'm sure you can attest to that. It's something that makes kids want to play.
And Gary Richardson, first-year coach, wow, what an amazing job. And winning one of the closest games of last Friday night, 36-30. What an amazing job he's done getting the kids out, getting them excited, getting them playing, and doing the right things throughout the season, getting lined up, getting the plays called, getting everything going. Just a great job, and come a long way in just one season.
This team was winless last year, Jay. It's hard to believe now, 6-4. They're hoping to do some damage come tomorrow night. Moving up to the 2A level, a game that was on the Region Sports Network. It was all Wheeler Bearcats in this one, 70-7 over the Lake Station Eagles. Rensselaer Central defeated Boone Grove 57-0, and the Bremen Lions beat the Whiting Oilers 34-0, moving up to the 3A class. The Calumet Warriors, a proud alumni of Justin Cole, our producer this evening, with a couple claps. 42-23 got the win over John Glenn. Mishawaka Marion went to River Forest, who played their fourth consecutive home game, and got the win 56-14 in favor of the Knights from Mishawaka. Griffith got the win over Bishop Knoll on the road at Bishop Knoll 62-8. And the Knox Redskins just keep on running the football with Miles McLaughlin, making some more history, breaking some more records, 50-21 over the Jimtown Jimmies. At the Class 4AJ, a good game over there. Well, at least on paper, two teams that are very familiar with each other in the NCC. But Lowell, 56-21 over the Hanover Central Wildcats. Lowell keeping things rolling, Jay, a tough place to play in the Inferno, Jay. A game we could definitely pump the brakes on. Some more history being made this time at East Chicago Central. Defensive coordinators, beware for this final score. 58-56, a triple overtime thriller. The Cardinals get the job done. Their first playoff victory since 2018. And I think one of the more, impactful, we could say, coaching hires that maybe flew under the radar was not a head coaching hire, but it was East Chicago Central bringing on Roy Richards. And we ran into some of the East Chicago Central football players. We were at the Lake County Trades Day this past Tuesday, and I was unfortunate enough to talk with some of the East Chicago Central football players after this win. And although Coach Corey Bailey has done a lot of great things, obviously, this is a program that had one win last season. Name that kept getting brought up was Roy Richards. And obviously, their first playoff victory since 2018, they were a total team effort as well, Jay. A similar kind of thing with Bowman Academy as well. Things are growing over there.
Yeah, and the thing is that offense is just on fire with all the new players coming in and just doing offensively, taking everybody to the woodshed. They may not win games, but boy, they make them exciting.
No doubt about it. Very exciting one over there. Again, they will take on Lowell, and we'll get into those future matchups later. Two more matchups locally. The KV Cougars got a big win over Westside, 15-6. And Jay, a game that you were at that will kind of shut the book on Week 10. The Hobart Brickies got over that New Prairie hump, a team that sent them packing for the past 3 seasons. But Hobart Brickies say not so fast. 50-14, Jay. They took it to them early. It was a high-scoring first half from the Hobart Brickies. And Jay, you were on color for that one. So what was your full assessment of those 4 quarters at the Brickyard?
Well, I have to say, the first time I've seen them all season, and man, they were just on fire offensively and defensively. They could not do anything wrong. New Prairie scored on a couple big plays, and other than those couple mistakes, I think it was a 78-yard run on the second series for New Prairie. Tied the score up at 7-7 early in the first quarter, and then after that, Hobart just took them outside and just whooped them good. I mean, it was great defense. The New Prairie quarterback had an awful night. Usually he's our whole team. He was a running attack, passing attack, and they just shut him down big time.
What were you most impressed with? Because it was a total team effort performance as well from the Hobart Brickies. We'll start with Alex Tatum, the quarterback, 9 of 15, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, had one of the most dazzling plays of the week with that deep ball to Stephen Miller. Bryce Tolliver, though, was the main receiver out wide with 4 catches for 119 and a touchdown. But the defense as well, you talked about Reed Robinson, the quarterback for New Prairie, just a do-it-all guy, a name I'm sure you called all night, only held him to 34 yards on 20 carries, threw 2 interceptions as well. I believe he fumbled the football as well. So what was the unit out of those 2 that impressed you on the Hobart Brickies?
It was the same. Both sides of the ball that impressed me were the offense and defensive lines. Great job protecting the quarterback. Tatum had all day to throw. The running backs had big holes opened all over the place. And defensively, that front 7 did a great job. So the offense and defensive lines of Hobart dominated the game, and then the specialty players did what they do best and ran all over the place. But those front 7 guys on both sides of the ball were physically dominant, and they need to keep that up moving forward.
What would you say about that Brickyard environment? It's been a long time since you've been at the Brickyard, Jay.
Yes,
good to be back there. And what could you say about the audience and the crowd that came out for the playoff opener?
The crowd was loud, and they had the cowbells out there, and I'm like going, they're breaking IHSAA rules, but they had some fun with it. And it was a loud and excited crowd, and they were happy to see their Brickies win.
They'll turn a blind eye at the Brickyard. How can't you, right? If you don't, they'll make sure that that's a tough group to mess with.
Yes, it
is the Bricky faithful. That'll do it for Week 10. Coming up next, we'll start talking about the sectional pairings heading to tomorrow night. For Jay Simmons, Justin Cole, I'm Mike Dewan. You are watching Region Football Weekly, presented by Tire Pros in Merrillville. We are more than tires. We'll be back here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently. And then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people, hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. You know, we're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. Yeah, I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, I wonder what Mark Machnick's thinking right now. And I was thinking, wow, this is awesome. It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. You know, it's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland. And ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports mainly because I get a lot of feedback. You know, especially on the high school level, a lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
Back here at the Center Bank Studio at the Athletic Performance Factory, the Diamond Plate and Pub and Eatery, excuse me. It's a soft opening, Jay. Again, a lot of great things going on here at the Athletic Performance Factory. A lively environment, starting to get kind of a studio audience a little bit for our Thursday and Friday night shows.
And if you're a sports fan, they've got
couple TV?
About 14 TVs.
We got 8.
8 at the bar, and quite a few in the seating area, so come on down if you got a favorite game to watch. Soft openings happening tonight. And then from November 4th on, it's going to be lights out for TV time for football games.
It's going to be fun for us. It's going to be fun for all of you as well. Again, one of those new spots around here, Jay, that I've heard good food, a lot of stress on the food. I haven't yet to try any yet, but I heard the food is supposed to be top of the line here. And, of course, you get a couple beverages as well. They also have duck pin bowling in the back. And for you golfers out there as well, the golf simulators. So we may have to take a look back there once or more. We may be here all night. Jay, we got to talk about the sectional pairings, actually. But first, before we do that, Jay, when it comes to haircuts, you talk to Jay Simmons. Jay Simmons knows just the guy located here in Highland.
That's right. You go to Level Up Lounge in Highland, go to the Level Up app, or go to Level Up Lounge on Booksy app. You've got Big C, Big L, and Axel. Make your appointment with those guys. Look at my hair. I was going to say look at Mike, but he didn't get a haircut there. But hey.
We're getting scruffy. We're getting scruffy.
Hey, come on out. Book them on the Booksy app. They're across the street from the Lantern Man, our superhero sponsor in Highland on Kennedy Avenue. Hit them up.
I know, I'm getting scruffy. I know where to go. It's Halloween, so we're supposed to look a little scary, so this is my best costume, I guess, which is me. We will move on now to the sectional pairings. We will start from the 1A class, working our way up to the 6A class. We'll go right down the line. LaVille is at North Judson. That's a game that between two opponents that are very, very familiar with each other in this one. I think that was a 21-14 North Judson win in week 2 between those two teams. As it looks like we got our bracket up as we will get going. And as you see, we'll go from top to bottom here. Yes, LaVille plays North Judson. That game, again, 21-14 in week 2. North Judson, St. Pierre, 4 straight regional titles, kind of one of those teams at the 1A class, Jay, that is truly a threat, to say the absolute least. And these two teams, again, familiar with each other in these brackets as well. 44-18 win over LaVille, last year's sectional champ. And I guess, Jay, we can at least speak on LaVille's kind of that team that is something similar to maybe what we saw from last week with Hobart and New Prairie. And LaVille, they do have the talent, and they're one of those teams that they're going to hang in the mix, and they've given North Judson all they got in week 2, and kind of one of those teams that wants to get over the hump against the North Judson squad. And the Blue Jays are real tough, Jay.
Yes, they are. It's going to be a good game. This is going to be one of the better matchups in week 2 of the playoffs. Even though it's the smaller classes, those are always fun to see. Go watch those guys. Pretty much at least 6 or 7 of those guys are playing both ways. And then, a couple of them maybe selling popcorn in the stands too as well.
That's how it goes at the 1A level. They a lot of guys got to wear a lot of hats. It's
yes.
at the 1A level, the 2A level, even when you get to the 3A level. But those teams still, those are impressive athletes all
yes.
across the board. And Bowman will travel to take on West Central. Again, Bowman got their first tournament win since the 2014 season, while West Central, although Bowman's making some history, West Central's 9-1, but they're seeking their first sectional championship since 2005. Why not the year? A very, very fun sectional 41, to say the absolute least. So move it up to the 2A class as Andrean will be at Wheeler. These two teams, again, met in last year's sectional semi-J. We'll talk about this game. It'll be on the Region Sports Network. Right. But Andrean's kind of one of those 2A powerhouses, and I'd say Wheeler, to keep this one short and sweet, Wheeler's kind of one of those teams that's kind of cut from the same cloth, but Andrean, I'd say, they've been kind of the runaway favorite in this one. According to John Harrell, they have a 67% chance to win that sectional, which is the best out of that group of 4 now.
Yeah, and you look at that size-wise of the Andrean, they are big up front. They're big and physical, and it's tough for the 2A teams to handle that physicality. Just like a couple weeks ago when Wheeler went up against Griffith, the physicality just sort of warmed down in the fourth quarter. Wheeler hung in tough until about midway through the third quarter, and I think they're going to do the same thing here. But we'll talk more about that later.
We will definitely talk more about that. And Rensselaer is at Bremen, about Rensselaer Central. 8-2. They're seeking their first sectional crown since 2014. They were 3-7 last year, so nice to see that 2-year growth. But Bremen, they are 6-4 under first-year head coach in Justin Bogunia. Up to the 3A class, Calumet is at Mishawaka. Marion, Calumet 6-4, their best season under Coach Charles Salary. Surprisingly, only one sectional championship in the program's history. I believe that was in 2020. But Mishawaka Marion, although they're 3-7, they're one of those teams that are battle-tested, kind of similar to Andrean in a way.
That's right.
They have not played a 3A opponent since last week against River Forest. So Calumet, of course, one of those region teams we're more familiar with, but got to go to uncharted territory. Taking a little bit of time change, kind of getting on that long bus ride, Jay. It's going to be tough to do for Calumet.
Yeah, Calumet is one quarter away from being 7-3. I mean, they battled with Wheeler late, but you're right. That strength of schedule with Marion and Andrean, you got to chalk that one up to those two teams as big time favorites,
despite what the records say.
Right.
And a game we will definitely talk about on our next segment. We also have a special guest to really kind of break this one down. It's Griffith and Knox, but Jay, a marquee match with a lot of storylines that we'll definitely get into on our next segment. Moving up to the 4A class at sectional 17. Lowell is at East Chicago Central. We talked about ECC making some history, their first playoff victory since the 2018 season in that triple overtime thriller. But the Lowell Red Devils, in what is kind of a toss-up, at least between two teams at the 4A level, they slightly have the best chance to win the sectional at a 50.1%, according to John Harrell. In second place, the Hobart Brickies at 48.
And you got to look at East Chicago with Damari Morris.
Yep,
8 touchdowns, 6 on the ground last week, 258 yards. In order for Lowell to win, they've got to be able to control that high-powered offense.
Lowell could run the football, but yes, Darian Morris of East Chicago Central, a bruiser at the quarterback position, somebody who they rely a lot on, is one of those key pieces. Yeah, like you said, he had quite the game against Highland, accounting for 8 total touchdowns, and he's the area's leading rusher, not including Miles McLaughlin of Knox. And the bottom of the bracket is the second favorite in the grouping, as the Hobart Brickies will take the trip down to Kankakee Valley. Hobart now 8-2, their best season under Eric Schreiber. The 5 and 6A classes now are well underway. Had their week off. Wake them up, right? Those big dogs. Hopefully they're waking up and getting ready to play, because this sectional 10, especially at the 5A class, is very, very exciting. A game on the Region Sports Network we'll talk about later. But Michigan City is at Valparaiso. And, Jay, this sectional as a whole, the other matchup with LaPorte and Chesterton, to kind of talk about these two in one. We've been saying it, I think, all season long, especially as how these teams have kind of transpired over the course of the year. These 4 teams, I'd say, all have a case to potentially walk out as sectional champions.
Yeah, and, the team we talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about Chesterton being the surprise team of the Doolin Conference this past year. and they may be able to make some more noise moving in the sectional. But you're right. Any of these teams gets hot right now, boom, they could walk away with this sectional. And Michigan City is primed. They've been playing great all season. Let's see what they can do. Can they keep away from big mistakes?
According to John Harrell, Michigan City has the best chance to walk away with a sectional title. That's hovering around 40%. But in second place are the 2-7 Valpo Vikings, a 22.85% chance. Despite the 2-7 record, their fewest wins in 9 games since 2014. That's only the second time they have had this pace in a 9-game stretch since 2000. But still, a little bit of hope for this Valparaiso squad, and hoping to avenge an early season loss against Michigan City. But a game we'll talk about later. And LaPorte is at Chesterton. 2 teams that played earlier in the year as well. 34-14 win for Chesterton. For those that care, I guess, about previous matchups. But Jay, as you and I both know, you kind of throw anything in previous renditions of games
That's right.
out of the window.
Yeah, especially if it's earlier in the season. Teams have made some transformations position-wise, play-calling-wise. So if it was an early season loss or victory, yeah, you got to throw those out.
Moving up to the 9A class, Munster is at Hammond Central. Munster seeking their first sectional championship since 1996. Hammond Central at least hoping to win this on the season, but they are trying to kind of build some pride and go out strong, especially in the first year with Tyler Milby. And a marquee matchup down at the bottom of the bracket that we can kind of talk a little bit more about here, Jay, is Merrillville at the home of the Morton Governors, the mansion, if you will. According to John Harrell, this may be the sectional championship. Merrillville, the far and away favorite in this grouping, with a 76.73% chance to win a sectional title. Morton, far and away, also the second best chance. A lot of athletes all across the board, but Merrillville, I mean, this is really when they are the most dominant. They have 6 straight sectional titles, and even won one in 6A, a couple years ago, and then 5 straight in 5A. So these 2 teams always seem to kind of play each other at this time of year, but Merrillville's kind of had the upper hand, and you've seen more of Merrillville. Tell me why. Well,
Merrillville's got a great total package on the offense. They've got the quarterback that is mobile. He's able to throw, and if you cover downfield and you don't keep a spy on that quarterback, he is able to run and run big. You got to look at their class ranking. Merrillville is number 3 in the state in 5A. So I think it's theirs for the winning. Defensively, Merrillville clicks on all cylinders. They are aggressive, quick, and fly to the ball. So it's going to be tough for Morton and anybody else in this sectional to take it away from. It's theirs for the taking right now.
Amari Price is Morton's freshman quarterback. Interesting to see how Merrillville may use that to their advantage. We've seen that they've done that with other quarterbacks that are less than experienced, although Price has had quite the season to his name in his freshman campaign. Yeah, that's a tough Merrillville defense you got to go up against.
Yeah, and they're gonna bring the house. They're gonna rush 5-6 guys, go man coverage over the top, and say, all right, now beat us.
Morton seeking their first sectional title in quite some time. I'm not sure if that date is correct, but Morton, still a team that's had quite the season. A lot of athletes all across the board, a lot of college signees, and what better chance to really shake things up than beat the Merrillville Pirates. A game we'll definitely keep our eye on at sectional 9. Up to the biggest of big dogs, the 6A class, sectional 1 here in the state of Indiana. Lake Central is at Crown Point. Lake Central coming off of a signature victory at Valparaiso 2 weeks ago. And we talked with Coach Bazia, who was also at that Lake County Trades Day. He stopped by, and big shout-out to Coach Buzz for taking the time to come over and talk some shop with us. But Crown Point, they understand, what it takes to do as well. They have these expectations, once again, that they're unbeaten, 4-time Duneland champs back-to-back. They have the largest chance to win the sectional at 61%. But they want to keep level-headed, Jay. They might be celebrities, around the city of Crown Point. But Coach Buzz knows this as well. That there's a bigger goal at hand, and we are just not there yet.
Yeah, they've got to finish to seal the deal. They've got to take this one and go see if they can get to state, and then see if they can finish it right there at state. They're ranked number 6 in 6A, so they've got some work cut out for them to get to the Dome.
Lake Central, again, these 2 teams have played each other before. Coach Buzz kind of harped down that this is a team that's going to give you a bunch of different looks. Once again, they're going to go back to the drawing board, and more importantly, Pete Koulianos is not going to let his guys go out there and lay down. So
no, he's not.
An exciting one over there between 2 Duneland foes. And the Penn Kingsmen coming in this game, unbeaten at 9-0, takes on Portage at the Warpath. Penn putting together quite the season. They have the second best chance, the biggest threat to Crown Point with a 35.73%. Portage, that we've seen flashes from them here and there, kind of similar to Hammond in this way, where, yes, the record may not show that they've been kind of in games, but A team that can give, maybe take advantage of Penn, who's getting on that bus from Mishawaka and coming over here to the Warpath. Portage just trying to build something, Jay, and what better time than maybe take on an unbeaten Penn Kingston team here.
Well, Portage, I saw them play a couple times this year. They seem to go in spurts. They put the pieces together for a little bit, then they fall apart. They put the pieces together, and then they fall apart. It's just they got to get more consistent and be able to be regimental and execute every play, not take a few plays off, have a fumble here, a penalty here. And then you're playing Penn, who's number 9 in 6A, so they've got their work cut out for them this week.
Got to take care of business, Jay. That's all for the games that we have come tomorrow night, but we're especially going to take a break here and really kind of hone into that game down at Knox. We got the voice of the Griffith Panthers in the house. We'll be back here. You are watching Region Football Weekly, presented by Tire Pros in Merrillville on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Have you heard? Stratford-Mantell was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford-Mantell.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday night football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Hi, this is Tim down at Tire Pros and Auto Superstore, 5200 Cleveland in Merrillville. 219-887-3333 is our phone number. We've been serving the region and building relationships with our valued customers for the past 23 years. We have a wide variety of services, quality tires with the best warranty in the nation, and some of the most skilled mechanics I've ever worked with. Let us exceed your expectations. We're setting a new standard. Come on down, ask for Mike or Tim. We'll take excellent care of you. Thank you.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT. Back here on Region Football Weekly, presented by Tire Pros in Merrillville. We're getting situated here. We got some food that has been dropped off by us. We're here at the Diamond Plate Pub and Eatery, and more importantly, Jay Simmons, we are joined by the voice of the Griffith Panthers, Garrett Van Horsen. Garrett, quite the fun week ahead of us here. Griffith coming off of that big win, and we're super excited. And we, of course, thank you for coming on down to break down arguably one of the biggest games of the week between Griffith and Knox. But Garrett, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. It's been an exciting week and time to play football tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been. What can you say about this recent run of the Griffith Panthers, where it's been? You've been doing broadcasts and the voice of the Griffith Panthers, if you will, for 8 or 9 years. You're a Griffith graduate as well, so I'm sure a lot of pride is there as well. But to kind of see this mini 2-year run that Phil Mason has his guys going on, yes, it was an interesting season last year where the GSSC was in their hands, and then they played Wheeler, they lost, and they played their opponent they're going to play tomorrow night, and that. I mean, a lot probably changed, and obviously where this team's headed, and now the division champs. What can you say about this period of Griffith football?
Well, last year I think the kids were kind of stunned that they lost to Wheeler, and it kind of took the wind out of their sails. And they get to Knox, and they're down 14-0 like that. First play of the game, I think it went 58 yards for a score. They actually creep back in. They had it 20-14 with under 3 to go. And there's a turnover or something. Before you knew it, Knox scored 2 more right there, and the game was about over. It was 35-14. I believe they had Knox 4th and 1, had a chance to get the ball back, and I believe get the ball back in the second half. But everything can change quickly in a football game, especially at the high school level. But this is a different team. A lot of those kids are back. They're a year older. They've been in Phil Mason's program another year. They hit the weight room. I mean, they're a 3A school. They have an offensive line that goes 290 across. 2 guys are Division I recruits. They're well-rounded, but you're playing Russ Radke and an undefeated Knox team. And I can tell you, at the sectional draw, when those names started popping off, nobody was happy to see Griffith going back to Knox. They're an athletic team, very fast, and they got to go play on grass. And I'm sure Knox might be watering the field a little extra this week, But, that's just the way things happen.
That's right.
So they're going to Knox.
Got to play the game, right?
You know what? If you're the faster team, you're the faster team on grass, too.
No doubt. That's right. I mean, and size-wise, that offensive line, you said, last week was a couple weeks ago when I saw him play against Wheeler. I walked onto the field and was talking to both of the head coaches, and I looked, I'm talking to Coach Testa for a few minutes, and then Coach Mason. I turned around and looked, and I was like, this is not a 3A team.
Exactly.
Size-wise, the offensive line guys were doing their drills right next to us. And I looked at Phil. I go, this isn't a 3A team. I go, the size of this offensive line compared from last year to this year, it's the credit to Phil and to the weight room.
Yeah, and that's Phil. Phil is great of a coach as Russ is. Phil's a state championship coach. Probably a Hall of Fame coach too, and his weight room program over the summer is, the kids enjoy it. They challenge each other, and they put in a lot of hard work. So they have themselves in a position tomorrow night to, if they can win that game, get back to a sectional championship game at the Boneyard. But we'll see what happens. I like their chances, but Knox is a great team.
Yeah, and that said, how you talked about they got to win the game. The chance they want to get back to getting to that round and getting over this Knox team that is frankly a very talented squad led by a great coach in Russ Radke and led by an even better player, arguably, with Miles McLaughlin. The keys to victory in this one, obviously, we saw what we saw last year where we talked about their turnovers and they got punched in the mouth quite early. But he said this team is different. They are a beefier bunch up front, and they might be able to handle this run game. But what is the path to victory for the Griffith Panthers in this one?
Well, obviously, you have Miles McLaughlin on the other side. He's run for 3,600 yards. I think he broke the single-season record. Yep. He needs like 272 to break the all-time Indiana rushing record. So, but what I've noticed on film, I've watched a lot of their games, it doesn't seem like many of their opponents have fluctuated from their normal defenses. So you got to think Phil Mason has got a few tricks up his sleeve.
You've got to. I think you got to crowd that line.
You do. But you also have to be aware, he gets to that initial line.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happened last year. But I don't want to call him a one-man show at all, but you got a guy with 3,600 yards. Their next leading rusher has 337. So, obviously, the key is to stop McLaughlin. I think the Panthers need to get 2 to 3 stops, force a fumble. I think they have enough offense to outscore Knox, but their defense has got to come to play.
That's right. And I think one of the things is, like you said, they've got to cause that turnover, get some stops, and I think the big thing is to stay away from the penalties.
Exactly. Another thing that's kind of hurt Griffith this year is slow starts. You can't have a slow start tomorrow night.
No.
Now, I don't know what they plan on doing. If I was Phil Mason and I win the toss, give me the ball.
Yeah, I agree. That's a great call.
That's what I would do. I'm not the head coach, so he'll probably, if he wins the toss, defer. But, there's advantages to that if you can get a stop, too.
That's right. You flip the field right there.
You flip the field right there, and but we'll see what happens at the coin toss.
That's right. But a very exciting game. And, Garrett, I'll finish out with this. But you've been around Griffith football for quite some time, and although we got quite the game to play tomorrow, the state of Griffith football, like we said, is in kind of a very special spot, and it's one of those communities that I'm sure you can attest to, but it's one of those communities where things are going right on the football field. The community seems to be much more bought into just Griffith athletics as a whole. But the state of the Griffith football program going forward, how optimistic are you in this regime, this bunch, and just kind of where things are headed moving forward?
If you look ahead, all of their skilled players are coming back next year, most of them. These kids, a ton of juniors. The JV's doing great. Phil's got his hands on the Pop Warner. And like you said, the community of Griffith, when Griffith football's rolling, the whole town's rolling. Yeah. And I think the region's better when Griffith is good. Teams like Griffith, Lowell. Griffith had the bad boy image back in the Racky days, and everybody wanted to beat them. And I think it was good for the entire region. You want as many, Griffith's one of those schools that people know throughout the state. Maybe not as much as Hobart, but Griffith, Hobart, Lowell, Andran, now Crown Point. It's good. Let's get, as many teams advancing as we can.
Let's have some fun.
Let's storm Indianapolis.
How about it? And I think, picking on that point a little bit is now Phil, Coach Mason, can go into the hallway, say to these guys, younger freshmen coming in and stuff like that, go, hey, you may be good in this sport, but hey, you can be even better in this sport, in football. You're a good wrestler, but hey, you can come out a basketball player. You can be one of our backs. So the recruiting tool of seeing these guys go to the next level in college, I think is going to be awesome for Coach Mason moving forward.
Those are things that Les Thornton did and Russ Racky. And, I was talking to one of Griffith coaches last night. And another thing, the young kids in town, they kind of forgot about Griffith football for a while. Now those kids, the 6, 7, 8-year-olds, they want to be Griffith Panthers and play on Friday night too. So
their butts are in the stands watching them win.
And it's good to see, the Boneyard Pack too. So
fun stuff.
It is.
We got to play the game tomorrow. We cannot wait to see Griffith take on Knox for Volume 2 of what should be a fun game. Garrett, I can't thank you enough for coming on down, and best of luck down there. I know you'll be with boots on the ground, right? You'll be down in Knox checking out that game. So thank you again for stopping on by.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you again.
Appreciate you. Yes. For Garrett Van Horst and the voice of the Griffith Panthers, and for Jay Simmons and Mike Dewan. We'll be back here on Region Football Weekly on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Level up your haircut at Level Up Barber Lounge in Highland. With over 30 years of combined experience, walk in today and get treated by some of the best in the business. To book an appointment, call 219-513-9083.
Or hit up Big Al
Big C, or Axel at the Booksy app or webpage. Head to Level Up Barber Lounge in Highland for a well-executed cut like a well-executed play.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
For 26 years, Armor Construction has been beautifying homes across Northwest Indiana. From expert roofing and durable siding to eye-catching custom copper work, Armor Construction does it all with the highest quality and integrity. Serving Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, trust the best exterior construction company in Northwest Indiana to protect your investment.
With offices in Munster and Cedar Lake, Ethos Dental Group offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, dental care you can believe in.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, hut.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Back here on the Region Sports Network, I like Garrett is sticking around with us.
Yeah,
Garrett Van
Bob,
Horsen,
thanks
Jay
a lot for
Simmons.
sticking around.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Jay Simmons is here as well. Mike DeWan, Justin Cole, our producer, Chris Ramirez is also in the house. And the house is the Diamond Plate Eatery and Pub, soft opening here at the Athletic Performance Factory, which is also served as our Centier Bank studio. But gentlemen, we got some games to break down. Garrett, we thank you for sticking around with us. We'll get your input on some of these teams. We know you saw a lot of Griffith Panther football this year, but hey, we'll also get your input on some of these, maybe some matchups that you've seen from Griffith opponents, as well as, of course, your knowledge of just region football. But we'll run it back through the Class 1A Sectional 41. We'll start there. LaVille, North Judson, two very talented teams that are battling for Class 1A supremacy. Bowman Academy making history. Once again, their first playoff victory since 2014, but they will take on a strong West Central Trojan squad. A game we'll have on the Region Sports Network that we could all chime in at the Class 2A level, Sectional 33. The Andrean 59ers will take on the host, Wheeler Bearcats. Jay, it's a game that you and I will fortunately will be together once again. We'll have, I guess, some fun. We'll see each other even a little bit more. Garrett, we'll start with you. You said you really like this Andrean squad. I'm sure you also saw Wheeler as well. Your initial breakdown on these two 2A schools, believe it or not, in a very good game on the Region Sports Network.
Yeah, Wheeler's kind of young. Good team. I did Andrean Highland last year, and I follow them. I predicted Andrean to win 2A at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to have to stand by that.
They're tough. I mean,
they are.
Their defense especially is one of those groups that is they are very, very solid. They always have kind of the offense, it seems like, with the defense.
Yeah, we got sort of a quick little breakdown from this past season. Past the Merrillville game, shut out Lures. Then they give up a long score on a TD run for KV. Munster a kickoff return. Hobart a couple late scores in the fourth quarter. Highland 13 in the first half. Then Angola 7 points late in the game. Hanover 0. And then Lowell last week they had a kickoff return down to the 11. Held them for a field goal. They only picked up 3 yards on the drive after the field goal or before the field goal and kicked the field goal 19-3. So defensively, wow, that's outstanding defense for Andrean 59ers as you look at them throughout the season. You gotta hold on, let me do this right here. Just scratch right out that 41 points versus Merrillville. And then you look at that defense, they are playing outstanding defense. Regardless of what their offense is doing, which are doing a great job. They got the two-headed monster at quarterback, and it's just, wow, they're loaded to bear.
I was really impressed with their bounce-back win after Merrillville, because Lures is around 500, but they're playing that Fort Wayne schedule, and they're playing everybody tough. So, and don't look past Lures either in this tournament. So,
yeah, you being the Griffith guy, where does Andrean rank in rivalries, would you say, in terms of maybe where they are at the current rendition? Although they used to see each other definitely a lot in the early 2000s, which all of us know here at the Region Sports Network, those were some instant classics. But what was that like, the Griffith and Andrean rivalry? And obviously it's kind of something that would be cool to see kind of reinvigorated.
One of the most gut-wrenching losses ever, and there were many during the Raggy area.
I'm sorry to bring it up.
2004.
Yeah.
I think Griffith beat them 48-14 in the regular season. Russ pulled a fake punt late in the game. And he just wanted to practice it in the game situation. And Andrean came back. I think it was Tommy Fenn on 4th and 27. Throws a touchdown pass. Pulls him with one. They fake the extra point. Run it in. A walk-off win. So thanks for bringing that up.
Was that at Griffith?
At the Boneyard.
Yeah. And, I remember talking to some of the coaches back then, and they said, if I'm on the road and I'm down by 1 point late in the game, you're holding it up to 2 points. Yes. Russ said it. Roy Richards has said it.
Yes.
And several of the other coaches, Coach Mason, they all say it. If they're on the road, they're down by 1 late in the fourth quarter, they're going for 2. They don't want the over.
At home, tie it. Road, try and get out of there. Like another brutal loss, I think it was 94, Tipton did to Griffith. Went for 2 in the semi-state.
I feel like I struck a nerve.
Yeah, you did.
I just want to
Are you a dentist? And
I don't know. But, no, it's definitely the analytics there, right? Get the heck out of there.
Griffiths do, right?
That's right.
They're, maybe the football gods will, shine on them tomorrow night.
Going to be absolutely a barn burner over there.
Pumping the brakes, going back to that Andrean Wheeler game, you've got Andrean, you got the two-headed monster, Gore and Ellis. I mean, between the two of them, they have 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 157 yards a game, but then you go down and look at the rushing. Ellis, 64 carries, 364 yards. I mean, he's averaging 5 yards a carry. So you've got one quarterback that seems to be a better thrower, one better as a running quarterback, and then and then you look at the depth chart and you've got Ellis playing some defensive back. Yep. So he needs a break here and there offensively. And then flip the coin over, you've got Fox for Wheeler, 73 completions, 125 yards, just south of 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. And then with Murray's 162 carries, 1,254 yards, and 18 touchdowns.
He's a tough kid. He's a big kid. He's just a southpaw, too.
Yeah, and he paid the price playing against Griffith. Boy, he got beat up in that game. I saw him in the fourth quarter with a towel over his head, and he just looked beaten up. And kudos to Wheeler bouncing back. After a brutal loss like that to Griffith, where they got outhandled physically in the fourth quarter. They seem to have a great game going, back and forth against Griffith. They got to be able to withstand the Andrean size-wise effect.
Well, and that's another matchup. Trying to recall what year it was, but highly ranked undefeated Andrean team was beat by Wheeler, I think 6-0, right, Chris?
Yeah, 2010s. Yeah. That's what the playoffs are for, right? When I go home, all those records, all these state rankings, throw them right out the window.
Exactly.
And what did some coach from the Cardinals years ago said, you got to play the game?
That's right. That's right. But that game will be on the Region Sports Network coming tomorrow night. Again, Jay and I will be on the call for that one. So in case you didn't get enough of us here on Thursday evening, definitely tune in on the IHSAA Champions Network, as well as our Facebook and YouTube for the audio broadcast of the Andrean and Wheeler match. Let me not lose my spot, because you also have the Rensselaer Central Bombers taking on the Bremen Lions. That's the Class 2A Sectional 33. Moving over to the Class 3A, the Calumet Warriors will be at the Mishawaka Marion Knights. And we'll finish off with Griffith taking on Knox. I think the one thing I forgot to ask you, Garrett, is for a prediction. I mean, I probably could tell what it is, but I want to hear how do we think this game is going to progress for 4 quarters on both sides?
You're not going to stop McLaughlin. You got to try and slow him down. And Russ will throw a wrinkle or two in there, some sort of long pass play. 42-34 Panthers. That's my prediction.
Big time.
I love it.
Take the over. It's going to be a lot of points, I think.
2 high-potent offenses and do it in different ways.
I can tell you this. A lot of their numbers are very close. They both Knox averages 50 a game, Griffith 47. Knox gives up 15, Griffith gives up 12. Throw those defensive numbers out.
And I think one of the things is that for Griffith, they're a little bit more diversified offensively. They can throw just as well as they can run the ball, and so I think that's going to keep Knox on their heels a little bit.
And it's been really more running of late.
Right.
Griffiths, they're within 21 total yards of each other on the season in total yardage. I can tell you real quick. Knox total yardage is 46-21, Griffith 45-85. But for Knox, 43-51 on the ground. And Griffith has thrown for, where are we? 1,600 yards and run for 2,800. I can't find it right now, but I know it's in here.
That's awesome.
But yeah, much more diversified. Also, McLaughlin, 55 touchdowns, and Griffith has 4 guys with 10-plus touchdowns. So
exciting stuff.
Yeah,
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it is.
I think whatever defense might make that one play with these high-potent offenses might be the difference in this one. Got to give a big shout-out again before we get to the 4, 5, and 6A classes. Again, we are at the Diamond Plate Pub and Eatery. Again, this is the soft open, ladies and gentlemen. We even got a menu to us.
Right.
I believe we're got a couple of, I think, foods coming out here and there as well.
Protein bowls, pizza, handhelds. Here we go, right here, baby. Come on down.
A little bit of everything. I heard the chicken's great. Everything. Burgers. They got pizza as well. And again, like you said, a very solid sport environment. One of those new kind of hubs here in Northwest Indiana. You heard of the Athletic Performance Factory, where this place is based out of. But now it's kind of a whole, I mean, there's not only, again, there's food and drink, but there's also duck pin bowling. We can work on our golf games after this as well with the golf simulator.
That may be here for a couple weeks then.
I think you could even throw footballs as well. It's kind of one of those multi-sport simulators.
Hold on, I've never looked so good.
A lot of great food, a lot of great selections here at the Athletic Performance Factory. And again, the Diamond Plate Eatery and Pub, again, the official opening will be November 4th of next week. Tonight is one of these soft openings. All right, gentlemen, a few more games to go. The Lowell Red Devils and the East Chicago Central Cardinals. Garrett, we'll start with you. What did you see from Lowell? Again, we didn't really talk much about that game earlier in the season. From what I gathered, it was kind of similar to maybe the Knox loss of last year where Griffith shot themselves in the foot a lot. But Lowell has really kind of circled the wagons in year one with Casey McKim. And although the NCC, they fell short of that outright title, this team is very, very solid in a winnable sectional 17.
He's turned things around much faster than I thought. I expected more of a 500 season. That first, I think they lost 38-0 or 6 to Crown Point, which was not really that bad of a loss. But, yeah, Knox, I'm sorry. See what's on my mind. Lowell obviously will have no problems tomorrow night. And, McKim might win a sectional in his first season, and I'll tell you what, that town they've already fallen in love with him. So
again, it's one of those groups that is one of those fan bases that is kind of second to none, if you will. And they got a winnable match against East Chicago Central, although EC's making history. They got their work potentially cut out for them against the Lowell Red Devils. Another potentially game on the bottom half of the bracket. The Hobart Brickies take on the KV Cougars. KV a big win last week over West Side. But the Hobart Brickies, Jay, this team's just too strong. Very balanced on both sides of the football. And also kind of got some younger guys that will be back hopefully next year for the Bricky squad.
Yeah, and like I said, they clicked on all cylinders last week against New Prairie. They're peaking at the right time. They've overcome a couple of those losses in conference. Very close losses, very winnable losses, but I think they're peaking at the right time.
Very, very exciting stuff. Bumping up to Sectional 9 at 5A, the Munster Mustangs will travel to take on the Hammond Central Wolves, and Merrillville takes on Morton. Garrett, can you say anything about Merrillville? They have a number of sectionals in a row. Now they drop down to 5A. They did some work at 6A, but then they dropped down to 5A, and sure enough, they're playing good football as always.
One of these years they're going to break through, and this could be the year. I mean, they're very good and well-rounded and a great head coach. I mean, when you have great coaching, and you need that at the high school level. I don't care how much talent you have to have a great leader when you're working with teenage boys. So they've got it all.
We're excited for that one, but Morton, do not sleep on them. Another talented roster, a team that we've talked about a lot in our Ennigenberg Home Improvement Top 10. And they have a team that has a great roster and, again, hoping to just get that signature win under Mac Mishler in what has already been quite the season for the Governors. At Sectional 10 in the Class 5A level, a game we'll do on the Region Sports Network, our second of two games, and a big one between Michigan City and Valparaiso. These two teams played earlier in the season with a 27-21 Michigan City victory, a game that was back and forth until the very end, but Michigan City got one of those signature victories. Jay, we'll start with you. Although Valparaiso, again, 2-7, and we both can kind of speak on this, but it's just really hard right now to write them off. Although that was a really, I don't want to say disappointing loss in Week 9, but it was very unexpected against Lake Central at home. But this sectional is just up for grabs, especially now Valparaiso now kind of struggling in this year.
Yeah, and you got to look at. I've seen Valparaiso play twice throughout the season. They play in spurts. They'll play a great quarter, then all of a sudden the pieces fall apart. Then they play another great quarter. But they've got to if they can put that consistency together for 4 quarters, Valparaiso might be the underdog in this sectional.
Any thoughts on? You said Valpo's kind of weird in a way, right?
They are, but if they put 4 quarters together, they can beat anybody but Crown Point. Maybe not Merrillville, but again, capable of beating Michigan City for sure.
Valparaiso, 7 straight sectional championships. Again, still thought to be a team that's competitive. Again, with the second best chance to win the sectional with a 22.85% chance, according to John Harrell. Again, that game will be on the Region Sports Network on the IHSAA Champions Network. If you want the video broadcast, we will also have on our Facebook and YouTube. The audio broadcast coverage for our games will be around 6:45. 5 p.m. All right, now we got a little lively environment
Yeah,
here. We got something going on. This is good stuff over here. It looks like our plugs are working.
Yeah,
Yes, people are tuning in, which is awesome. LaPorte takes on Chesterton at the bottom half of the sectional 10. Up at 6A, Lake Central takes on Crown Point. Garrett, what can you say about Crown Point and the run that this team has been making? You've seen a lot of good being a Griffith alum and being involved with Griffith Athletics. And what Crown Point is doing as of right now, it is very, very impressive.
Yeah, I don't know if most people even know Craig Buzia played for Les Stort at Griffith. Another Griffith plug.
Yes,
but,
he is.
Yeah, they look unstoppable right now. We'll see. I think they may run into Penn, possibly in a regional, but I don't see him going any less than the semi-state. So.
I think they play Penn in the sectional championship.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So that's going to be
that sectional now.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one right there come next week.
Again, 2 undefeated teams in that grouping, but who knows? Still got to play the game. We talked about the Penn Kingsmen. They will travel to the Warpath to take on the Portage Indians. Gentlemen, it has been quite the fun time here at the Athletic Performance Factory. Big day of football come tomorrow night for the both of you. I mean, what better time right now than the tournament?
And throw in a little spice for the Halloween night. There's going to be a lot of fans, student sections dressed up tomorrow night, or at least it'll be fun to see that.
Let's pull up your grandkids again if we could, Justin Cole, our producer. Get a good look at it. Jay Simmons has supplied us with the photo. Go trick-or-treating tomorrow.
That's right. It's going to be a good time.
Got some plans before we hit our games.
After we go trick-or-treating, I'll get in the RSN helicopter and be out to Wheeler, do the game with you.
Well, take me with you, Garrett. What does tomorrow look like for you? Obviously, you're going to going out to that game. Going to be a fun one over there. And
they got to go. Is big Phil Mason going to go out there and turn the sprinklers off anytime soon?
He's out there right now looking for the faucet. And Russ is out there giggling with the flashlight. They're old buddies.
Yes, they are.
That's right.
I took the day off work. My crew and I were going to have a pregame meal and get there early. So,
let's do it.
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Going to be a packed press boxes as well. Just about all press boxes.
I'll tell you
around
what,
the
it
region.
was loaded with pizza last year, so I'm not going to eat too much.
Cannot wait. For everybody here at Diamond Plate Eatery and Pub, this is the Centaur Bank studio at the Athletic Performance Factory. Thank you all for tuning in. For Jay Simmons, for Garrett Van Horst and Chris Ramirez in the house, our executive producer. Justin Cole got us up on the air. Zach Miller as well did a great job at helping us out. For everybody involved with what happened here on Thursday night, thank you all so much for tuning in to Region Football Weekly, presented by Tire Pros in Merrillville. We are more than tires. Good night, everybody. This is Mike DeWan with the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.